Tonight, NPP flagbearer Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia faces significant challenges in uniting and organizing the party ahead of the 2028 elections following his victory in a high-stakes presidential primary.
The flag bearer would take the lead in getting everybody together and present one face to the country. That's what's going to happen.
Well, the first major impediment is how he reunites the party.
But that also should never be a tool for blackmail, which will mean that because we did everybody on board, people will use that as a blackmailing tool.
Well, we speak to experts on some expected tough decisions and sacrifices Dr. Bawumia and the NPP need to make to achieve unity. Right here on Top Story. And Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecell Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Enjoy a holy sleep and Short Pension Trust into the future with you. Now, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is the man the NPP has chosen to lead the opposition party into the 2028 general elections. But the weight of his new role settles heavy on his shoulders. He won the NPP primary over the weekend, but the real battle was only beginning. Dr. Bawumia has to unite a fractured party, reach out to his rival contestants, galvanize a dissolution base, and outmaneuver a formidable NDC candidate in the 2028 elections. All aspirants who took part in the race have since publicly pledged their support, calling for unity, reconciliation, and mutual respect as the party repositions itself for a return to power. Speaking to Joy Business, Chairman of the Communications Directorate of Dr. Bawumia's campaign, Nana Komia described the cause for unity as the most crucial step in rebuilding trust and strengthening the party after the divisive contest.
The call by the contestants themselves for unity is the first step towards unity. You understand? So these are the people who have been contesting against themselves for the last 6 months, making insinuations against each other, trying all they can to show that the other person wasn't good enough. So whatever division, anxiety, tension came primarily from the context. Now, when the contestants themselves now commit themselves to come together, that is the first requirement for unity. So it is a very happy situation.
So that's Nana Komia there. Nana Komia also noted that the burden now rests largely on the flag bearer to lead the reconciliation process, bring all factions on board, and present a united front to the Ghanaian electorate.
The flag bearer would take the lead in getting everybody together and present one face to the country. That's what's going to happen. And the history also backs the position. Every time we've had a flag bearer election and a flag bearer is elected, the flag bearer, with the goodwill of the people who contested him, the flag bearer goes to everybody and gets everybody behind him. Fortunately for us at this time, it's even better because we have a bit of time. In the past, we had 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years. We've never had 3 years like we have now. So I have every confidence that the party will come back together and prosecute one agenda.
Governance expert Professor Bafo Ajimendia has been speaking on this particular matter. He's talking about the challenges ahead and how the flag bearer can help deal with these issues.
Well, the first major impediment is how he reunites the party, because as you know, there were a lot of tension and some very rough edges in the statements of some of the candidates in the party. So it's very important that he finds a way to quickly run them around and find a way to appease them and for them to throw their whole weight behind him. That's the one thing I see clearly. The other one is how they proceed with the campaign itself. You know, many people are attaching to the failures, I should say, of the Akufo-Addo government. As vice president, he chaired the economic team. Even though I know towards the end of that regime, he was no longer playing that role. But people see him as perhaps a party to the failures of that government. So he may want to find a way to detach himself from Akufo-Addo. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. But I think that's a big challenge for him. He has to recast himself as a new kid on the block with his own ideas, inspiring ideas, I should say. So I think his ability to do that is a challenge he has to overcome. These are the two key issues I see. And the kind of vision, of course, the third one, the kind of vision he can present to the people of Ghana to believe that, in fact, he's not going to repeat what happened the past 8 years, that he has his own vision for the country. If he's able to do that, I guess Ghanaians will look at him maybe in a different way, and that will be helpful for him.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the NPP's Council of Elders, Hackman Osuajiman, says the specific strategy for achieving unity matters less than a shared commitment to work together for the party's success. He was speaking on News Desk.
There's no specific, it's a human institution. So whatever we start, that will give us the results. That's what we can do. We could say that we are starting from the so-called grassroots. Everybody's a member of the grassroots. We all belong. I belong to a constituency, and I belong to a police station. So that's the grassroots. So we all have to work together. I think that what you are asking us is a strategy that we would employ. But the strategy is, for me, straightforward and simple. Whether whichever group you belong to, wherever constituency you are, police station you are, your job is to work for the advancement of the party. And I don't think there's a sort of strict laid down rule out where you start.
So there's several calls have been made for the party to unite ahead of the 2028 elections. Just when they're done with the primaries, the major focus, people say, has to be the unity that needs to be built in the party. But other leading members of the party are also saying, do not use that call for unity as a tool to blackmail. Here is Samuel Abujinapo, a lead campaign member of the Bawumia campaign team.
When you look at the elections of 2024, it will be totally self-defeating to go on that path. Because what has happened today is really, if you strip it down and you want to be blunt, it means something, but it doesn't mean much. We've seen that many times. Political leaders have won internal elections. What matters the most is clinching the ultimate victory and getting the crown, which is 2028. And to get 2028 will mean getting everybody on board, especially when you look at the elections of 2024 and how that election panned out. It was clear that a lot of NPP supporters did not vote. And it was clear that the NPP's base was not energized enough. And it was clear that the NPP was fractured, and which meant that we did not have the full complement of the NPP's force. I don't suggest by any stretch of imagination that was the only reason why we lost that election, but that was definitely a significant contributing factor. And so anybody who is minded to organize a campaign which will culminate into a successful victory in 2028 must ab initio be mindful that we need everybody on board. And as I said earlier, the Honorable Kenneth Japon's comments continues to be very refreshing. But that also should never be a tool for blackmail, which will mean that because we did everybody on board, people will use that as a blackmailing tool. I think true blue party members, the Honorable Esibe Yabua, whom I respect a lot, did not support Dr. Bawumia. And when you listen to him, you heard him. He said he'd be happy to support and contribute and be involved with whatever the presidential candidate asks him to do. And that should be the attitude of all members of our party. All of our members should have this attitude that at this stage, it is the NPP that matters more than our individual counts. And I believe the NPP will come together for victory 2028.
This is still Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil, and also by Shield Pension Trust. Well, let's bring in Dr. Arthur Kennedy, who is someone who's run in the NPP presidential primaries before and knows much more about the NPP. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us here on Top Story.
It's a pleasure to join, and good evening to your listeners.
Great. I mean, you've been here before. After such a primary, what should be the most critical challenge the flag bearer must work on?
Well, I think that you frame it a little wrong. It is not just a challenge of the flag bearer. It is a challenge of the whole party.
Okay.
I believe that every situation is unique. So the first thing is obviously the flag bearer must show leadership, trying to unite the party. I noticed that Chairman of Council of Elders, Hackman, says it is the duty of every party member to support. It is not the duty of every party member to support, it is the choice of every party member to support. And we hope that they make that choice, because as we found out in 2024, there are people who didn't make any noise, but millions of them stayed at home and millions of them came out and voted for someone else. So it is important not just to bring on board those who ran in the primary, but those who were alienated by the process of the primary. And this might mean significant stakeholders who probably didn't even participate in the primary, and those who in the west of Boachiega have resigned in their hearts. So first, the flag bearer needs to reach out. Yes, he won the vote, but the question is whether he can win the hearts and the votes during the general election. And that will start with the flag bearer, obviously, but then other important stakeholders, if they are brought on board the right way, I believe can help. So I think that is the challenge of the flag bearer. He must lead, but he cannot do it on his own.
So that's where Hackman's point comes in, right? That every member of the party must see it as a responsibility to help in the rebuilding. You say it must be the flag bearer. He's only an individual.
Yeah, that's exactly the point I made. I do not think it is only the duty of the flag bearer, but of course I heard Abu Dinapo talk about blackmail. Some other people will also use this hastily done primary as a blackmailing tool. After all, we won the primary. So blackmailing does not build party unity. Honest inclusiveness and humbly addressing the grievances of party members is what matters, because after all, when people enter the polling booth, they will do that as individuals, and nobody can have any way of enforcing, quote unquote, a duty. It is a choice, and we need to work so that people see that choice as voting for Dr. Bawumia, because we can't even win with only those returning. We need to win with some NDC members who hopefully may be disaffected coming to join us.
How does he do that? How does he win the hearts, as you put it?
Well, I mean, the first thing is that he needs to be open-headed and open-minded and humble. And once he does that, it will open other people's hearts as well, so that they can listen to him with love and with empathy. At the end of the day, the question is inclusiveness. You cannot say that, oh, it is your duty, and if you don't want to do it, stop, because we are even going to go ask for NDC votes. So I think that if you don't do those things well, then given where Ghanaian politics is evolving, the people who have resigned in their hearts will either stay home or, God forbid, go and vote for the NDC again.
Will you, for one, be available if Dr. Bawumia should say, Dr. Kennedy, I need you to come and help us rebuild this party?
Absolutely. It depends on what he tells me, but I won't be blackmailed. I'm not going to come and help because it is my duty to help. I will come based on what you tell me about the lessons that you learned. I think that President Kufuor was an excellent model for unity. After he won the primaries, he did a very good job. As Kufuor used to tell me and most other people, including Hartman, every party has factions, and the duty of a good leader is to pacify the factions and unite them. So if that is done well, or for example, when your followers insult other people, you call them to order. You know, when other people have valid points, you accept that. You don't do things like because sometimes the blackmail is that the primary itself has been won in ways that make people unhappy, and it is being used to blackmail other people into falling in line.
Dr. Kennedy, do stay with me. I'll come back to you before I wrap up. Let me bring in Dr. Kwame Asante. He is a senior lecturer, political science department, University of Ghana. Doc, from where you sit and what you do know about this primary and this party, after all, what do you think is the most critical step that a flag bearer must take? Hello, Dr. Asante, do I have you? Hello, Dr. Asante, do I have you?
Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you now. So if you heard me, I'm trying to find out from you what you think to you must be the most critical step that Dr. Bawumia must make.
One, Dr. Bawumia needs to be able to bring all the factions together and then make sure that they are united and they are going to fight the common cause of 2028 elections. That is one. This means that you are going to make sure that you listen to all their concerns and you address them head on. Two, Dr. Bawumia must be able to have answers for all the things he has said over the years relative to economic performance and economic programs. And then the things that have also been said against him, you must have answers to dealing with them, because they will come up as raw materials for opposition to launch their campaign on him. That is a fact. Then the last one that I think he has to do is to be able to win the confidence of those he contested with. Are those people prepared to work with him, and to what extent can they go and all that? He needs to be able to make sure that those people come into the fold, and then he depend on them or he work with them to be able to wrestle power. It is a tall order. I don't know how he want to do it, but I'll leave it for him to deal with his problem.
Well, some people have proposed that he needs to win himself entirely over Kufuor before he would win the trust of Ghanaians. Is there a possibility in that once he was a vice president to the man?
He needs to do what? I missed that point.
Win himself entirely of Akufo-Addo before he'll be able to win that trust. But I ask, will he be able? Is there a possibility in that once he was the vice president to the former president?
He should be able to do that, because you see, as of now, people believe that a vote for Bawumia is a vote for Akufo-Addo. Those who were angry about Akufo-Addo, that's how they think, and that's how he's going to translate his votes come 2028. So he needs to be able to win himself out of that area.
But how does he do that?
Yeah, you need to be his own man.
and take decisions without being dictated to from behind the scenes by the former president. Yes, he should be. If there is an attempt like that, he should be able to, stay firm and then say no, and then come out with his own decisions and all that. If you continue to, have that relationship and that master-servant relationship, then obviously he's going to incur the wrath of party people and by extension, Ghanaians.
But is this not akin to what happened in the case of, may so rest in peace, Professor Atameos and Jerry John Rawlings?
We saw that, but Mills was able to win himself. You saw how he handled the situation. Will Bawumia get the courage to be able to do that? Because we saw instances where Bawumia said that, look, he was sidelined and all that. But I don't buy that argument, because if he had the courage, he would have resigned without saying, because somebody has said that he's bringing you on board simply because you have what it takes to support him in economic matters. Then he brings you in, and in no time you are being sidelined and all that. What it means is that either he believes that you are not performing as expected, or he doesn't want anything from you. Obviously, you need to vote with your feet by leaving the party.
Dr. Asansante, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. He's a senior lecturer, political science department, University of Ghana. Professor Smart Sapon is a researcher and lecturer at Kumasi Technical University. Prof, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. You conducted a lot of research ahead of the primary. Was there any bet on how the party people expect the flag bearer to behave after he wins?
Right. Kojo, if you can hear me, good evening. And I think in respect of your question, we are yet to do the post-election survey, and some of these things would come up. But I think off the head, there are two sides to the whole conversation. The party people themselves, and then the leader. Now, the party people must be the first set of persons or group to accept unity, to embrace unity. But nobody can do it better than themselves. So by now, all factions and all groups at the various constituencies and electoral areas, they know themselves. By now, they should all prepare their mind to come together as one body and work. Then the work of the leader in trying to foster or bring about the unity will become a success. You cannot wake up a mind that is pretending to be asleep. You will wake him up, and he will still be asleep. But when the person is truly asleep and it's time to wake up, it's easy to wake the person up. So Bawumia will lead in the unity process. He knows he is the ultimate beneficiary of the unity that he seeks in his party, and I'm sure he will commit all his time and energy to doing that. I am also very sure that the aspirants as individuals would want peace, because if the party ever comes into government, these are the people who would secure the top positions before those at the grassroots level get some of the votes. So it is also in their interest to make sure that they present a united party towards 2028. And I know they are going to be up and doing in seeking the unity. Where I think the stress should be is the individual members of the various factions in the constituencies who would feel perhaps unqualified to come and campaign because some words they use against themselves, or who will feel so much affected because down there somebody did A or B to him because of his choice to support candidate A or candidate B. But if they all learn to forgive themselves, then when the unity team moves, their work will be successful and people will genuinely come on board to help.
Professor Masapon, I'm grateful to you for joining us here on Top Story. He is researcher and lecturer at the Kumasi Technical University. Dr. Arthur Kennedy, let me wrap up with you. Okay. Prof, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Great. So, I mean, just as we saw in the Athamos case, we saw that he became his own man when he won power. Must it be different in the Bawumia case, or must he really show Ghanaians that, well, I've set a sort of a gap between me and former President Nana Akufo-Addo before that Ghanaians can believe him?
Kojo, who are the Ghanaians? When you leave the conversation for any NDC member, he will tell you Bawumia is not a man of himself. But if you should ask Bawumia himself, he will tell you he's a man of himself. And the work now is on NPP as a unit, as a body, to all come together and communicate clearly to the general public that Bawumia is a man of himself. If you entertain any communication, and especially when the party as a unit is not together in preaching that message that Bawumia is a man of himself, then the political opponents will just capitalize on that, because on the surface, Kojo, you and I, even me, I am a man of myself. How much more Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia? And besides, Nana Akufo-Addo has finished his term. He is now on retirement. And if you allow such a communication that the man on retirement is the one manipulating and controlling the active man in service, it is only for political whatever. And it is your opponents who must be doing that, of course, to weaken you. But you must always appear resolute. And the NPP members must appear resolute and communicate that strongly that Bawumia is a man of himself. I can't imagine for a day that Bawumia, before he would drink, will have to call Nanado and find out for him how to give Ghanaians pipe-borne water. Should I give them or shouldn't give them? Why? It will be funny, like it will be so ridiculous that Bawumia would not be a man of himself given the opportunity to lead the country. But your opponents will make those arguments to weaken your front.
Okay.
I just want to see NPP united and drum home that message very much that Bawumia is a man of himself. And let me also advise them on how they should treat Nana Akufo-Addo. You see, Nana Akufo-Addo towards his tail end had challenges. Ghanaians were extremely unhappy. Many of us were affected. But when a man is down, lessons are learned. So they can use Nana Akufo-Addo's test case as a serious learning curve. So they need Nana Akufo-Addo around to guide them on the places where he fell.
Okay.
Why? How did he do this? Why couldn't he succeed in this?
Okay.
So that when they get the opportunity, it can be better. They should not join their opponents in throwing away Nana Akufo-Addo with all the good things, even though he had bad side, and throw him away entirely like that. No, they need him to learn a lot of useful lessons from, especially the points where he started failing, so that in the event that Bawumia gets the opportunity to represent, when he gets there, he will not fail.
Okay.
He would have an alternative means of going around the things that Nanado could not go around.
I'm grateful to you. Professor Smasapon is researcher and lecturer at the Kumasi Technical University. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil, and also by Shield Pension Trust. My name is Samuel Kojo. Brace up next is Newsnight. Good evening.
You know how much moms always say too much of everything is bad? But there's one too much mom actually approves of. Telecel's Too Much Broadband Bundle. This season, all you have to do is buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Too Much Broadband Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and get 150% bonus data. That's right.
Simply buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Telecel Too Much Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and receive 150% bonus data. Dial *900#, use the Telecel Play app or visit the Telecel website to buy now.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast, University Book Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic, Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to News Tonight. Tonight, youth wing of the governing National Democratic Congress erupts in protest as a recent Supreme Court ruling on the Pandai parliamentary election dispute sparks outrage in the NDC camp in the constituency.
It's a wrong gazetting. It's true gazetting. So we are demanding the court to re-look into this.
Chief, forget your leadership. No, I'm Gugu Akraman school, Papa. Forget your Yes. They don't know the law.
Yes.
We're live in the constituency with our correspondent for more. Also tonight, Chairman of the Council of Elders for the opposition NPP, Hackman Osuajiman, calls for an end to monetization of internal party elections, warning the phenomenon could affect quality of leadership in the country.
It's not whoever has money that must be the party. And if it's reduced to finances or money, then we won't get the right person to lead the party. No.
We have details plus hear from the NPP on the allegations of vote buying and more in the just ended presidential primaries. Also tonight, Accra Metropolitan Assembly strikes hard on traders along the Kimbu stretch as its decongestion exercise enters day 2, with task forces seizing goods from non-compliant traders in business.
Some oil marketing companies flout National Petroleum Authority's directive of not selling various products below a certain price.
In sports,
Kotoko coach Karim Zito criticizes wingers after loss to House of Lions.
We've got the details of these and many other stories coming up in the next 1 hour. You can be a part of this show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi, details shortly. Hello again. Let's begin from the camp of the governing NDC because the youth wing of that party in the Pandai constituency has expressed disappointment and concerns over the recent Supreme Court ruling on the parliamentary election dispute. The group pointed out inconsistencies in the Gazette notification relied upon by the New Patriotic Party candidate Matthew Nyindam and questioned the Electoral Commission's neutrality. They are also raising concerns about possible collusion between the Commission and the NPP.
Our demonstration is as a result of peace and to send a strong warning to our people that there should be a judicial review after 6th of February 2026. I can't give an answer to that question, but we are calling on our leader.
It will not yield any results you ask. It will yield because we are aware of what we are doing. We know we are right. We know we are right of what we are doing. We are aware. They should review it. Then with that,
Supreme Court reasoning and constitutional option. We respectfully await the reasoned decision of the Supreme Court scheduled for February 2026. Should the reasoning raise other constitutional questions, the law is to provide mechanisms such as judicial review, clarification application, constitutional interpretation. Invoking these remedies, when advised by counsel, does not amount to disrespect, but rather demonstrate faith in the judicial system.
What we went to Tamale we talk about stealing, but not filing. But Honorable Matthew Inyinda went to Supreme Court that the filing time it was out. That the gazetting, and we are told that the gazetting is sent to the Supreme Court is a wrong gazetting. It's true gazetting. So we are demanding the court to re-look into this.
We'll definitely be bringing you more on this story later. But in the meantime, the chairman of the Council of Elders of the opposition NPP, Mahamudu Bawumia, has made a call for an end to excessive monetization of elections, especially vote buying in Ghana. His comments comes at the back of allegations of vote buying and intimidation that has characterized elections, but more importantly, the just ended NPP presidential primaries. Mahamudu Bawumia spoke to my colleague Mamiesi Thompson on the Joy News desk earlier today.
I believe that in the fullness of time, we should look at these things very critically. Our ultimate aim is to let every member in good standing vote. The idea is, and we may be wrong, we are humans, is that when we have about 2-3 million people voting even for these primaries, then the issue of TNT, which is tantamount to inducement, as you say, is a thing of the past. We believe that we have to keep doing and then changing our rules of procedure. This time, we try to expand the electoral college, but because a lot of them have died over the years, the figures were almost the same as it was in 2023 or whatever, last time. So it's a major problem that we have to resolve, because it's not whoever has money that must lead the party. And if it's reduced to finances or money, then we won't get the right person to lead the party. No, we have to make sure that we change the status quo eventually.
That's Mahamudu Bawumia. He's the chairman of the Council of Elders of the New Patriotic Party. We'll definitely be interrogating this particular development. But let's take you back to our earlier story, where the youth wing of the governing National Democratic Congress have erupted in protest as recent Supreme Court ruling on the Bandai parliamentary election dispute has sparked outrage in the NDC camp in that particular constituency. Let's bring in Stephen Bordeaux, who is the youth wing member in the Bandai constituency of the governing National Democratic Congress. Grateful for your time this evening. Why are you making those accusations against the NPP and the Electoral Commission?
I expect that the NDC candidates won the case genuinely at the Tamale High Court. And the NDC candidate goes to file the case at the Supreme Court, centered on the date of which the NDC committee filed his case in Tamale. Forgotten that he was the one that challenged the NDC candidate's initial date filed. And the NDC candidate filed another case. If you take a critical look at the case, he has gone to fraud the Supreme Court that he was targeted on 24th and not 23rd. But what he told the High Court is different from what he told the Supreme Court.
But the Supreme Court ruling clearly stated that the period within which they could have filed that petition, the period within which he filed that petition had elapsed, the grace period with which he had the possibility to file it, and that is why the court decided that they had to quash that case. Is that not a legitimate reason given by the Supreme Court?
We have not, our party have not read the reasoning of the Supreme Court. They are still awaiting the Supreme Court. But I have put it on record that the NPP candidate is challenging the date of which the NPP candidate filed his case in Tamale.
And what is that date, if you can finish us with it?
Unless we put that to our legal counsel.
You're also accusing the Electoral Commission of colluding with the New Patriotic Party. Do you have any evidence to back those claims?
I have not accused the Electoral Commission in collusion with the NPP candidate. We are stating it on record that the Electoral Commission should come out with a stated date clearly and not conflicting the days that the NPP candidates have used to collude the High Court and came up with another date to the Supreme Court.
What happens now then? Because Matthew Nyandam has been reinstated as the rightfully elected MP of Pandai constituency. What are you going to do next?
The youth are angry because their vote cannot be denied. Pandai belongs to NDC, and he cannot pledge the will of the people. We in Pandai, every village, every woman, and every man is in love of NDC. But Matthew is in the media peddling falsehood information. And if he knows that he wins the election, that is why the High Court decided we should go for rerun. The 3,000 people he claimed that he claimed that they voted for him are still alive. They are not dead.
You say the Pandai constituency belongs to the NDC. What do you mean by that? Because clearly during the December elections that was conducted, Matthew Nyandam was declared winner, and in the past 3 elections, he's won twice.
The past 3, he came and won twice. That was when the people of Pandai stated clearly that Matthew have not won election genuinely. He has been going with all dubious means and winning. And that was why in 2020, the people of Pandai voted for Honorable Daniel Salawa. Then he went back to sit with the Electoral Commission, planned to spell that a date, and came back to contest, whereby the election was not declared in Pandai. Martin don't know where the election was declared for him. That is why all those reasons culminate why the people of Pandai are not content with any of the ruling because we want a genuine election, a rerun election in Pandai, so that he who wins goes to represent them. And I'm putting it on record. Matthew never won 2024 election because there was overvoting in most of the police stations.
Right.
In some police stations, we recorded 1,400 votes.
Right, Stephen Bordeaux, thank you very much for your time this evening. That's the youth wing member in the Pandai constituency for the governing National Democratic Congress. Let's bring in the Deputy Director of Elections and IT with the party, Tanko Rashid Computer. Mr. Computer, grateful for your time this evening. Has this matter come to your notice, the youth wing of your party in the Pandai constituency protesting against the recent ruling by the Supreme Court in the Pandai parliamentary election results matter?
Very well. Let me say good evening to you and your cherished listeners. Indeed, it came to our notice this afternoon. And let me use your platform to appeal to the youth in Pandai to be patient, to exercise maximum restraint, and then they should know that leadership is with them. And then we are working around the clock. We appreciate their grievances towards the ruling, and then not that leadership is folding its arms. We are doing something about it, and they should be a bit patient. The party will not abandon them. The party is monitoring the situation. We are waiting for the 5th February ruling, which is coming on Friday. When we take the ruling, our lawyers will study it and advise us appropriately.
You say leadership is with them. I just spoke to the one of the youth wing members. He says that all the elections that Matthew Nyindam has won in the Pandai constituency were rigged in his favor. Is that something that the leadership of the NDC also backs?
Of course, that has been our rendition all along. The interview I granted with you people, we've been very consistent in that. He didn't win the election generally. Look, let's not forget that what happened at the Supreme Court had nothing to do with the substance of the matter. It was purely on technical basis. You filed outside the stipulated 21 days. You should have filed on this day. You use this gazette instead of using this gazette. But not the substance is matter, which was adjudicated at the Tamil High Court, which indicated that the election was rigged. That one there, we cannot step it aside. So they are talking about that rigging machinery that propelled Nyindam into parliament. And so if Nyindam and his people are jubilating, they are jubilating on technicalities, not the substance. It doesn't vitiate what happened on that day in Panda. And so they should be patient. We are appealing to them. They are our supporters. They are party people. They should be patient and look up to leadership.
Have you had the chance to communicate with them directly on this matter?
Yes, I'm trying to get hold of them, talk to them. We have our regional chairman, who is the regional minister. He's on top of the issue. We've also spoken to the constituency chairman. He's appealing to them. They are all talking to the youth to exercise maximum restraint. And then they shouldn't allow the NPP to provoke them. They should take it easy. I mean, we are waiting for the ruling, which is coming on the 6th.
Rashid Tanko Computer, thank you very much. He's the Deputy Director of Elections and IT with the governing NDC. And let's take you to the camp of the NPP. And earlier I brought you the story about the chairman of the Council of Elders of that party, Hakman Ouswajiman, who is calling for an end to monetization of internal party elections, warning the phenomenon could affect quality of leadership in Ghana. And let's go into the telephone lines right now and speak to anti-corruption crusader Vitus Azim, who is joining us. I understand we're yet to get Vitus Azim on the line, and we're trying to connect with him to ask him a few questions about what he feels should be the way forward. You're still listening to Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and across our affiliates in this country. And I understand we have Vitus Azim on the phone right now. Grateful for your time, Mr. Azim. Of course, this is not a new issue. It has been a raging issue that keeps coming up every election cycle. Now, the chairman of the Council of Elders of the NPP is saying that this could be a big problem if it's not dealt with. Really, why are we unable to deal with the issue of monetization in our politics?
We are not able to deal with it because the people who are in a position to deal with it benefit either directly or indirectly from it. You see, especially for delegates conferences, the top people already have their choices, probably because they like the person or because of influence and probably financial influence. So when you have influenced by the candidate, you find it difficult to tell the candidate to influence other people as well. That's one thing. But the other thing is, what action can you take against anything? Because sometimes it's even difficult to prove. And there are some party executives who come out and say, oh, it was just for transport, it was just for lunch. Even when they provide buses to bring them and provide them takeaway, they still give that excuse. So it's like the party hierarchy itself supports it. And that's why it's difficult to handle it.
Of course, and Hackman Ozwajiman was speaking in the context of the just gone by presidential primaries by the opposition New Patriotic Party. I want to believe that you monitored that election. Did you hear any incident of vote buying?
Unfortunately, I didn't monitor it, but from the news, I think there were some instances. And you see, vote buying is not necessarily on the day of the voting. You know, one of the candidates said he was paying parliamentarians every month a certain amount of money. That could also amounts to vote buying. So they are not your employees. So why are you paying them something like a salary, a monthly salary? So even if that day there was no vote buying, that doesn't mean that there wasn't vote buying at all. Because even the night before is always the most important day for Celtics. People go around in the night and distribute cloths, phones, various things, and even promises for appointments if they win. So vote buying is not a one-day affair.
Right, Vitus Asim, thank you very much. It's an anti-corruption campaigner. Let's now bring in Dr. Asante, who is a political scientist. Grateful for your time, Dr. Asante. This issue of vote buying has been very rife. Do you think it contributed to the outcome of the results that we witnessed last Saturday?
Oh, obviously. What was disturbing was the fact that we are not yet broadcasted saying how much people are paying and all that. The type of inducement always takes some of the shine of election away. Because remember, we are talking about game of numbers. And if you get a few people even who are influenced by money, it can also send the tide in favor of somebody. So it's a worse thing to happen to a democracy.
Right, and of course, there has been some changes, some patterns in the current results that we received. For example, Dr. Bawumia getting less votes than he did in 2023. Let's look at that particular issue of him not getting more than the 61% that he received in 2023. Do you think that this points to a wider division within the New Patriotic Party? Because there was tough competition as well.
So obviously, it's a manifestation of something that went wrong. Because if he commands such, vote in the party, his votes will soar up than what we saw as a general vote. So it tells you that something went wrong. Either it's in protest, or there are people who believe that they don't want to give their vote to, and that maybe the competition is much thinner this time around. A whole lot of factors. But the important thing is that since he has won, that one, you put it behind you and you move on. Because whatever it is, he has won the primaries. And that what is ahead of him is 2028. So now we must see him working to make sure that all the disgruntled, all the affected people, all those who have one issue or another against the party himself and the rest of them, he's able to put them together and then smoke the peace path. Beyond that, he's able to also prepare himself for the numerous things that he has said related to where his son is, that is the economy, and all that. And how, when they were in office, how it turned out. All these things are going to feature strongly in the campaign. And then above all, you want to make sure the party is in a proper position to mature all resources and prosecute the 2028 agenda.
Dr. Asante, grateful for your time this evening. Let's now bring in the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP, Haruna Mohammed. Grateful for your time this evening. Haruna, when you look at the results that came, especially from the Ashanti and Eastern regions, two of the strongest holds of your party, it appears that your candidate did not have the footing, the authority in the votes as one would have expected. Now, going into the general elections, how are you as a party trying to redeem these votes in two of your strongest holds for your candidate in 2028?
Thank you very much. I would like to say good evening to your cherished listeners and followers and on the social media. May I ask whether you are speaking to the data on this presidential primaries or the 2024 general elections?
On this one?
On this one. In this election, we use the internal party people to vote. In the 2028 election, it is going to be the entire country, not the delegates within our party. So the responsibility on Dr. Bawumia is to be able to garner the total votes within the country, as in the citizens, not the delegates. The reason why I am differentiating this is because these are party members who are to decide among the five. I remember in the last election, the former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia did not have a competitor from the Eastern region. Again, in the last elections, he had only one competitor from Ashanti region. Now he has two competitors from Ashanti region. So you don't expect him to get the same number of votes from within the party's contest as he went for the 2023 elections. But notwithstanding all that fact, I think that these are members of the party who will be coming together now to garner the votes for the party in the 2028 general election. So using this particular data might not be able to give a complete analysis and reflection of what is going to happen on the ground.
Right, Haruna Mohammed, thank you very much. That's the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP. Let's stay a bit longer on the NPP election, and this time around do some analysis on the performance of the top running candidates' regional performance in the Saturday election. And Caleb Ziblim with our research desk is joining me for more. Caleb, it looks like the candidates are alternating in terms of gains and losses across the regions. What really does the data tell us?
Yes, Ken. So we know that in the 2026 presidential primaries for the NPP that is ended, Dr. Bawumia dropped his votes count from the 2023 election. Dr. Bawumia dropped his votes count from the 2023 election by about 7,000 votes. And then Kennedy Ejapong also dropped by about 25,000 votes. And then Brian Echampong, the first time, I got 36,000 votes. So all of this together created a situation where Brian Echampong took significant portion of the votes in certain regions, while Dr. Bawumia had to, forfeit some of the votes in other regions. When you're talking about the top regions where Dr. Bawumia gained compared to the 2023 election, it was the Greater Accra region, the Western region, the Bono region, the Savannah region, the Central, and the Northern regions. So these were the regions where Dr. Bawumia gained compared to the 2023 presidential primaries of the NPP. Then when we look at the regions where he lost votes, we have the Eastern region, the Ashanti region, the Volta region, the Western North, the Upper West, Upper East, Ahafo region, the Oti region, Bono East region, and the Northeast region. So these are all the regions where Dr. Bawumia lost votes compared to the 2023 presidential primaries for the NPP. And if you look at most of these regions, they were won by, closely contested by either Brian Echampong. And if you look at the data, it shows that Brian Echampong actually won most of the regions at the northern belt. So the northern region, Savannah, Brian Echampong keenly contested Dr. Bawumia in those regions, and he came out second. He was first in the Volta region, while Kennedy Ejapong was first in the Central region. So again, these were the regions where Dr. Bawumia lost compared to his 2023 results, and also gained compared to the 2023 results.
Caleb Ziblim is our research desk member. Thank you very much. Now, moving on, the Coalition Against Illegal Mining is maintaining pressure on local authorities over illegal mining activities, insisting on the removal of municipal chief executives and district chief executives in areas heavily affected by illegal mining. Despite the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS is intensifying its operations. Now, over the weekend, NIMOS operation targeted illegal miners operating along the Butre River in the Ahanta West District and other affected areas in the western and eastern regions, seizing 16 excavators and destroying 20 Shamfan machines along with 10 pumping machines. Erastus Asaridonko has more in this report.
NIMOS initiated a major raid on illegal miners who had blocked portions of the Butre River and its tributaries, mining within the basin. The miners bolted, but a search conducted at the site, christened Agenda 111, revealed 7 pump-action guns and 12 rounds of ammunition. Some explosives found at the site were destroyed by experts on the task force. 16 excavators were seized from separate illegal mining camps in the Ahanta West and Etiwa West districts of the Eastern region. The team raided illegal mining camps at the rubber plantation at Ahanta Besiase and Abasi Tumentu at Cape 3 Points. In Ahanta West, within Cape 3 Points Forest Reserve, a man who identified himself as Bright Mensa on board a white pickup with registration number GT829924, who claimed ownership of the illegal mining site, attempted to bribe the team with 20,000 cedis. He and 4 of his colleagues were arrested and handed over to the Ebra police station in the Aguna Nkwanta district. NIMOS also raided illegal mining sites at Mampon Sankubiase in the Etiwa West district, where they seized 6 excavators in illegal mining along the stream Asukoko, a tributary of the Brim River. 20 Shamfan machines were bent at Fiachi in the Ahanta West district of the Western region. NIMOS also disrupted mining along the Achem-Techiman Highway in the Eastern region. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
And meanwhile, despite the work by NIMOS, convener for the Coalition Against Illegal Mining, Kenneth Ashigbe, argues while the fight has intensified, efforts by local authorities' oversight remains inadequate.
Late last year, the MC for Tamonoff, Pius Opoku, disputed reports of illegal mining at Adroba BC, polluting the rivers Subri and BC tributaries.
The MCs, the DCs are the president's representative in those communities. They are the chairpersons of the district or municipal security committees. They also, where there are mining committees in those districts and in municipalities, they are the heads of them. And so when Galamsey is happening in those communities, and then what are they doing as representatives of His Excellency the President? And we know that His Excellency himself had said one of the major KPIs so far as the fight against this illegality was concerned was going to be holding our MCs and our DCs accountable. Unfortunately, to date, we've not seen anything like that happening. And some of these arrests that NIMOS has done, they are all happening within districts. And there are district MCs and DCs who are responsible. You go into places like Dunko, for example. The MC who is there, he's giving tax to excavators to go and do illegal mining, to go and do mining. Ask him whether he's checked, whether all of those excavators that he's giving tax to are all doing legal mining. And so they need to support the president in his effort, because in as much as Galamsey is a national problem, the solution to it is local. And we need to start, they are the first people we should be holding accountable.
That's Kenneth Ashigbe. He is the convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Let's bring in Ebenezer Edu, who is the MC for Ahanta West. Grateful for your time this evening. Your area is one of the hotspots for Galamsey. And of course, many MMDCs have been accused of doing very little to fight the menace. Why is that?
Good evening and thanks for having me. Galamsey is a holistic thing that we should all look at it collectively. And just like Ken Ashibwe said, before appointment, the president made it known to every MC that Galamsey is part of our KPIs. So if you have a Galamsey issue in your area, then the onus lies on you as a municipal chief executive to make sure that as the head of MUSEC, you fight it. And basically that is what I know that every person is doing, especially when it comes to the Western region. In my area, just like you said, when we came, there were a host of people mining on the river Butre.
as I'm talking to you now, I can confidently tell you that people don't mine on the butchery again. We've been able to raid off the Galamseyers from the butchery river. The challenge we are having now is the Kipchoge Point Forest area. So I am so happy that NIMOS has come in to support us to do this operation. And for NIMOS, they don't work in isolation. NIMOS is a security agency. And when NIMOS are coming to your municipal, they will inform you because we give them the leads. We tell them where they have to go. And basically, that is what we've been doing collectively together. And for this raid that they did in Ahanta West, for 3 days they've been in the forest areas. They've been in the banks of the Mpoho border with me, and then they've been able to make sure that such success have come in.
And Kenneth Ashigbe is calling for the heads of MMDCs whose areas have Galamsey going on. And of course, your area is one of the hotspots. Is that something you agree with him, that MMDCs whose areas Galamsey continue to happen should be sacked?
What he says that, I think that he's been unfair to the MMDCs. I think that what Ken should have said was, if an MC is involved in Galamsey, then it means that that person is going contrary to what the president wants us to fight. Because as I told you, fighting Galamsey is a collective effort. And for me as a person, as a mining engineer, how I understand the mining processes, I believe that with this cooperative mining coming in and making sure that people mine responsibly, definitely the Galamsey activities are going to go down. So I believe that if the MC is not directly involved in the Galamsey activities, because at the end of the day, the MC is the head of the municipal music. We also have our challenges. That is why when the challenges are beyond that, we go to RESEC.
Right. I want to thank you very much, Ebenezer Edu is the MC for Ahanta West. Let's briefly speak to Mahamudu Bawumia. He's the spokesperson of the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. Mahamudu, grateful for your time this evening. There have been concerns that although the fight seems to be happening, but it's not intensive enough, and it's emboldening Galamseyers to continue to destroy our water bodies and our natural resources. What is the your ministry, the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, doing differently to ensure that we get rid of this menace once and for all?
Thank you very much. Good evening to you, and thanks so much for having me. I think it will be very unfair to say the measures, so to speak, the policy interventions being put in place is not as bold as we wanted. For me, these policies are working and they are giving results, and so probably we'll say it's just the timing. There's been a year that we started implementing some of these policies, and we don't expect to get the full results that we're looking for. Others will say a tree that has been growing crooked for years cannot be splitting in mornings, and so we need a bit of time for some of these interventions to really bear the fruit that we're looking for. For instance, in just a year, your 9 no-go forest reserve has now been cleaned and repossessed for the state. And that's when the Forestry Commission moves, they make NPP and do their routine checks. For me, it's a great achievement. In just 1 year, yesterday I was in the River Amanzule in the Western region, and you could see the Amanzule has come back to its pristine position of running very clear, justifying that policies the minister has kept in place is yielding positive results.
Right, Mahamudu Bawumia, thank you very much. That's the spokesperson of the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. That brings us to business, and George Riafi is here with the latest. George, what have you got for us?
Well, Kenneth, coming up in business, some oil marketing companies flout the National Petroleum Authority directive of not selling various products below a certain price. And the Ghana Railways Development Authority unveils a new master plan to support haulage in the mining industry. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business, Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials, Synthesis tanks, and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
people at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Hey, Andrea. Challenge these days, new level crowd. Where did you pass?
Me, pass somewhere. I just switched for a better life. Hey. I switched for comfort. Look, your salary deserves better.
Switch?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I switched my salary account to Fidelity Bank. Oh, okay. And that's my jackpot. I get higher loan amounts with lower interest rates, as well as personalized financial support. They gave me a loan to expand my side hustle, and the terms are just flexible.
Wow.
Your salary deserves better.
Oh, my salary deserves better. You see the way you are smiling wide? Yes, I will switch and smile wider. Your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy lower interest rate, car and home loan, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Switch and smile wider. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I day aside, Fidelity.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school. A farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
If you want quality, this be where you belong. Syntax, hey, it's a fair strong. Oh, gonna shout and sing the song. When the sun they hot, Syntax no break. When the rain they fall, still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give your smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, some oil marketing companies are now complying with the National Petroleum Authority Directive or not to sell fuel below a certain price. We have details in the following report.
The National Petroleum Authority has today announced its fuel price floor for the first pricing window of February 2026. Based on a circular cited by Joy Business, no oil marketing company should sell a litre of petrol below 9 cedis, 99 pesos, while diesel should also not go below 10 cedis, 95 pesos. However, checks by Joy Business show that some oil marketing companies are pricing their products below the floor announced by the market regulator. The National Petroleum Authority had earlier argued that this policy would help bring sanity into the industry and prevent the collapse of some oil marketing firms in the country. In a separate development, the top two oil marketing companies are strictly sticking to the price floor when it comes to petrol. Star Oil and Guel are both selling a litre of petrol at 9 cedis, 99 pesos. The two firms have also adopted discounted pricing at some of their services stations across the country.
And that is a business desk report. Meanwhile, oil marketing companies want the National Petroleum Authority to crack the whip when it comes to market compliance, especially in the area of checking on adulterated product. Gabriel Kumi is the chairman of the chamber.
That's the backstops with the regulator to crack the whip and really make sure that the policy you have put in place is working and is working properly. I think the source of all this problem is the fact that that policy is not working properly. And the source of that policy, the reason why we have that policy is because of some illegalities, illegal products that found itself in the market that were being priced so low that it was really negatively affecting people who were doing genuine businesses. Okay, so these are the problems that must be tackled. You see, illegal products and third-party products, these are the real cancer of the industry that is eating everybody up. And these are the reasons why the floor pricing came to be. So we will urge the regulator to be up and doing on that. Check those illegalities. Once those are checked, I tell you, 80% will be solved.
Gabriel Kumi is the chairman of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Still on the sector, Vivo Energy is promising customers more than just fuel, but also premium products and round-the-clock convenience at their service stations. The oil marketing firm disclosed this to Joy Business after it unveiled a new Shell service station at the Michelle Camp on the Tema Kosombo Road. Christian Lai is the managing director of Vivo Energy Ghana.
And what we're trying to show here, I think we can all see, it's an example of what we call mobility. It's more than just selling fuel. Last year in November, we did launch our new and improved Shell fuel, but it's also about not only fueling the vehicle, but fueling your health, fueling your life. So we even have a pharmacy, we even have food, and we have a shop here. So it's to give the community in this small area that we have a different convenience for the people that transient here or stay around here so that they can come and fuel their cars and their body. We already have sites that are open 24/7 at airport, for example, and in some other areas. We just don't want to rush. We're doing it in a smooth transitional way. So more and more, I think we mentioned here also, we'll see what is the needs of the customer. And for us to be able to open 24 hours, we should also bring the value to the customer for them to come and shop for 24 hours.
Kasala is the managing director of Vivo Energy Ghana. The Ghana Railway Development Authority has developed a new railway master plan aimed at supporting the haulage in the mining resources of the country. The new move is to help reduce the burden of moving mining freight from road transport as well as diversifying the country's transportation. The chief executive of the authority, Dr. Frederick Apple, explains plans to secure the required investment for the plan.
In Ghana, the most profitable line in Ghana is the Western Corridor. That goes from Hamale all the way to Takoradi Port. So the idea is that if we are going to more or less sell this product, we must sell this product to private investors. We must be able to guarantee them return on investment without guaranteeing them sovereign guarantee. We are not offering any sovereign guarantee, but there must be off-take agreement, off-take guarantee from the mining site to attract the market to do that. So the purpose of this line, more or less aligned to the old line, but we are now focusing on connecting the mining sites, okay? And we are also connecting the mining site, not just on the Western Corridor, but similarly, we are connecting to the Shene Gyasi area, as well as Bogatanga, where we have got a deposit of manganese as well.
Chief Executive of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Dr. Frederick Apple. Now, the Association of Ghana Industries has described the cut in the policy rate as needed to help reduce the cost of credit in the country. The Bank of Ghana last week cut its key lending rate to about 15.5%, said Chuma Kabwa, Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries.
I think it's in order because we've all been monitoring the macroeconomic environment and the indicators are all pointing to a positive end. And therefore, we're indeed expecting that the policy rate will drop. And indeed, it dropped. And it dropped significantly from about 18 to 15.5%, and that for us was positive. So we welcome it, and we think that it should have the necessary impact that we all expect. Yes, I think that the expectation and the projection for the reference rate to come down to about 15.68 or so is also in the right direction. Indeed, we are expecting that to be so. We want it to drop because it's a major point of reference and a benchmark for the banks to fix their lending rates. And when the policy rate drops, we actually expect the interest rate to also drop. Even not in a proportionate manner, at least significantly, we expect it to drop. And if you look at the data,
Seth Chum Akwabwa is Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries. And that's all for business on Newsnight.
Well, thank you very much, George. Sports is next, and Benaya is here with the latest. What have you got for us?
Well, taking you to the camp of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, because they lost over the weekend and their head coach is not happy. And Karim Zito did not hide his frustrations after they lost 3-1 to Hearts of Lions in Pando, a result that caused them the chance to move second on the Ghana Premier League table. Now, speaking after the game, Zito criticized his wingers, admitting he was disappointed with the overall output in the match.
Well, this is football for you. I wasn't expecting this score because seriously, we prepared well for this game. And most, especially the set pieces, they scored every 2 goals. Because we've been practicing how to defend and how to attack on set pieces. So maybe today is one of those days in football. I wasn't, as I said from the beginning, I wasn't expecting this result, but this is football for you. And when you look at our wide wingers, they didn't operate the way I wanted them to do. You understand me? But it's like, it will be okay till later on that I try to change, you know. Because it goes I easily score through the wings. Today my wingers did not do well. So that brought these issues all together.
All right, so that's Karim Zito that he's clearly not happy with his forwards and he's put them under the bus, as we would say. So.
Who is he blaming anyway?
So he's blaming his wingers, the forwards, saying boy said no more Diagro like here. He's not happy with them.
So who is he? So who is he reporting it to? Is he not the coach? He has to whip them in line.
Yeah, he has to put them in line, but he's telling them that they need to do better when they're on the pitch. You know, sometimes these coaches, when they're under pressure like this, they want to shift the blame to the players. That's interesting. All right, so that's it for sports, Kenneth.
Right, Benaya, thank you very much. And the Tono and Via irrigation dams, once reliable lifelines for dry season farming in the Upper East region, are now under growing threat. Rising temperatures, erratic rainfall and prolonged dry spells linked to climate change are reducing water levels and disrupting carefully planned irrigation schedules. The dams are being pushed beyond what they were originally designed to handle, and farmers are constantly racing against time to avoid post-harvest losses. For Climate Evidence today, here's a Joining special report by Albert Sori.
The Tono Dam, located in Navrongo in the Kasna-Nankana municipality, and the Via Dam, located in the Bongo district, have for decades sustained thousands of smallholder farmers, designed to support dry season farming and stabilize food production in one of the country's most climate vulnerable zones. Today, however, that lifeline is under increasing threat. According to the irrigation company of Upper Region, ICOR, which manages both facilities, rising temperatures and erratic rainfall have made it increasingly difficult to operate the irrigation schemes as planned. Dominic Anargede is acting managing director of ICOR.
So because of rise in temperatures resulting from climate change, then the surface level of the water becomes so hot. So it is estimated that monthly basis it will lose about 2.5 million cubic meters of water just due to evaporation alone.
At the same time, climate change is driving a quieter but equally significant trend: migration toward the water sources.
The Vietnam, for instance, it was estimated to be about 10% silted. The Tono here is also silted. It's because climate change has pushed some farmers to now want to farm around the buffer zone, and that also pushes some debris into the dam. We have been fighting that.
Downstream in the lowlands under the Tono irrigation scheme, farmers are facing mounting uncertainty. Some currently risk losing their crops because ICOR must halt water supply to allow for canal cleaning and maintenance ahead of the dry season farming window.
They have a calendar that will start now and end at this time. So if the farmer is not able to fall in line with the ICOR calendar, then at the time his crop will still need water. That is the time ICOR might want to carry out maintenance.
We don't start the season early. The rain pattern too, it doesn't come early, or it comes and goes off. Those are the challenges that we are facing from the project. And if it happens like that, we have low yield.
Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sorry, Tono, Upper East Region.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
Let's take you to the courts now, where the embattled Chief Executive Officer of Men's Gold Ghana, Nanapia Mensah, also known as Nam1, has told an Accra High Court that he was properly authorized to operate as a gold mining company. Nam1 is facing 39 charges, including selling gold without a license, fraudulent breach of trust, defrauding by false pretense, and money laundering after allegedly using his company to defraud unsuspecting individuals. My colleague Fatau Bayaga was in court and joins me in the studio with more. Fatau, did Nam1 give any evidence in court to back this claim?
Not at all, but he's been giving some explanations. Ken, the case presided over by Justice Ednam Awo Kwadam and General Jurisdiction 14 of the Accra High Court, where Nam1 went through cross-examination, during which he maintained, Ken, that contrary to the prosecution's claims, his company, A2, thus Men's Gold, was duly licensed and incorporated to engage in gold mining and purchasing, value addition and export activities. So, Ken, he went forward to say that the company initially applied to the then Precious Minerals Marketing Company, PMMC, completed the required documentation, paid the relevant fees and underwent regulatory scrutiny before being granted a license to operate. So, the counsel for the prosecution can then ask him to provide evidence to all of these licenses that he said he has. Nam1 said he would do that during the next court agenda date. He explained that after the company was shut down by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Yoko took over control of its offices. Many documents could not be accounted for, and that is affecting his ability to access valuable evidence in defense of the allegations that have been leveled against him.
Thank you very much, Fatau Bayaga there. Let's bring you some of the messages you've been sending to our WhatsApp console. BB from North Kaneshi says, I do not trust the intentions of some of the members of the coalition against Galamsey. Some are working for foreign entities who are against local participation in mining. There is conflict of interest by those working for the Chamber of Mines, and they are working against the interest of Ghana. And this one is promise from Keta. He says, Pandai election. The leadership of NDC should do something serious about this case in order to stop this kind of election manipulation. Still, the shooting incidents that happened in Ayawaso, Wogon, Techiman South and others are still waiting for their justice. NDC leadership, we are waiting for justice. This is a concerned citizen. He calls himself Solomon. He says, please, I am a floating voter and I repeat, nothing can convince me to vote for any politician. Please, they are all the same. I have stopped voting since 2020. Those are some of the messages you sent to us on our WhatsApp. Thank you very much. That's the end of the show this evening. My name is Kenneth.